What's up, y'all? What's up, everyone? Sorry for having y'all waiting so long. My audio started messing up again. I was trying to fix the audio again, and for some reason, I just can't get my computer sound to come out of StreamYard for some reason. Y'all can hear me, but y'all can't hear what's playing on my computer, and I need that to play on StreamYard so y'all can hear the calls and stuff like that. So that's what's going on right now. But let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. I'm pretty sure y'all can because I know my mic is going through the stream software. What's going on, Kenneth? What's going on, Southbound 3000? What's going on, y'all? But I could chit chat with y'all tonight. I'll do some chit chatting with y'all tonight. But yeah, the call-in system is still messed up for some reason. I don't know if it's just StreamYard that's doing this, but I've sat here for an hour trying to fix it, and I've been unable to get it working the way it needs to work for me to run the show properly. So I might just end up having to get another software, use OBS Labs. That's probably what I'm gonna have to do, and stop using the software that I'm using now. Yeah, I know y'all can hear me. Yeah, y'all can hear me, but y'all won't be able to hear my computer sounds. And yeah, so y'all can hear me loud and clear on my mic, but my computer sounds won't come through the stream software. So that's gonna make it hard. Like for when people call in and stuff, y'all won't be able to hear them. So that's the only issue that we're having. I appreciate y'all tuning in. What's going on, Kenneth? How was your weekend? My weekend was cool, man. I didn't really do much today. I chilled out yesterday. I went to the movies yesterday and worked out. But yeah, my weekend was cool. How was y'all weekend? Let me know. Well, today I was going to talk about Jackson State. Like, who y'all think is going to take the crown from Jackson State? I'm wondering, should I just do this show tomorrow, fix the software? Do y'all want me to just fix the software and do the show tomorrow? Is that what y'all want us to do? Would that be better? Because I know I want y'all to call in, man, because I know y'all be wanting to call in and tell people what y'all think. Do y'all rather me just reschedule the show to tomorrow night? What y'all think? DJ85 said nobody taking the crown. Roy said no, go ahead. What's going on, Miss Gowdy? Shout out to Miss Gowdy, man. She's always supporting the channel. Shout out to her. Ain't nobody taking the crown from us. Diallo. Joe Eagle said, let's do both. Okay. Chris say yes tomorrow. Do a 45 minute tonight, then call in tomorrow. All right, so I guess I could chop it up with y'all tonight. I'm gonna do that tonight. Then I'm gonna chop it up with y'all tonight. So if y'all was able to pick teams that y'all think would be able to fight JSU for the crown, what teams do y'all think that would be? Personally, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Grambling. I think Grambling is going to be a force to be reckoned with, man. I think Hugh Jackson has a lot to prove because a lot of people are saying he couldn't make it on the NFL level. So I think he has a lot to prove on the college level. What's going on, Raw Truth Media? Make sure y'all subscribe to Raw Truth Media. That's my guy there. He covers SWAC content as well. So make sure y'all follow him. JSU Tiger said Grambling is who I said. Southern. Everybody talking about Southern now. We'll see, man. We'll see. As long as Hugh Jackson is at Grambling, you don't have nothing to worry about. Rubik trying to roast Hugh Jackson. Bama State. That is all. I think Bama State is gonna be good too, y'all. Don't sleep on Alabama State. It's Mr. Ford calling in right here. Hold up. What's up, Mr. Ford? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I got you on the I got you on speaker so they can hear you on the they can hear you on the stream from my mic.
And FAMU to that Grambling. Don't forget FAM, baby. They serious. I'm getting their news every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. They on a mission now, but you're right. Grambling's on. They tell me they're on a mission down there in Lincoln Parish now.
Yeah, I seen
they got a really good staff.
Yeah, I seen they had a scout down there at FAMU too.
Yeah, they had a scout. I can't remember where he was from. I saw that too.
Yeah. So Isaiah Land definitely gonna get the looks that he needs this year. So
I think he's gonna be overshadowed, man. I think there's some kids on that team better than him.
Really?
I'm gonna be honest with you. They done brought in a junior college kid, Isaiah Major or something. They said that kid is the truth. Let me turn this down. Hold on.
So we're gonna have football back this week. The NFL started this week, so we're on a few days away to have football back.
Huh?
I said we're on a few days away, and we're gonna have football back again.
Yeah, and the thing I failed to mention to you, I'm kind of on this thing about Jackson State is gonna play Bethune-Cookman in Jacksonville, but it's a 1:00 game. That's not a 1:00 game. That game needs to be at night. And then the Boombox Classic is like a day game. That game has always been at night. That needs to be a night game.
Yeah.
I don't really like day games.
It's how
colleges, we have our best when we under the light.
Right.
We homecoming is, during the day, 1, 2 o'clock. But our premier games are usually at night, man. That's what I grew up with. Growing up, we always, Tennessee State FAMU back in the 70s was always at night. If it was in the day, you didn't get it wasn't a full effect when it was in the day.
Yeah. I mean, the Southern versus Jackson State game in the daytime. I mean, it's still gonna be a good game, but at night, it's always good to have it at night.
Yeah, that's a night game. That's a biggie, man. That's a night game.
Ruben said SU has their QB duly named his starter.
Oh, that kid can play, man. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you who is gonna surprise y'all this year. That kid that transferred from Grambling, that's from New York. That boy is gonna prosper under Eric Dooley. Y'all gonna see that Noah Biden.
You mean Southern?
Going to prosper. Yeah. Gonna see. Y'all gonna see that boy is gonna prosper. Now, that kid, McCray, I think his name is McCray. He's a natural for that offense.
Right.
A lot of them people talking about Bubba McDaniel got the experience, but I've seen that kid. That kid with that hurry up offense and that tempo stuff that Dooley runs. Because Dooley wants you always on the run. He don't want you to be. He got some of those principles of the old Mississippi Valley offense back with Willie Totten and Jerry Rice, where you would see what Tottenham would do to you. They would get you all spread it out, discombobulated, and then they would hit you. And then after they hit you, they hit you for the ball. They basically would kill you with them formations, tempo, but basically them balls was always right in the middle of the field. He didn't really do a lot of deep throwing. People didn't know that. They thought that because they was running up 84, but he would kill you with them formations and he would kill you with tempo. That's what Dooley does to you. But Dooley had to have a dual threat quarterback for it to be at his maximum, and that boy is. But I'm telling y'all, wait for that kid. Know if he's patient. And this kid get hurt or something, Noah Biden's next man up now.
So I seen a lot of people talking about Musa at FAMU. But I've been trying to find some footage on him, and it's not much footage out there on him.
I've seen footage from his junior college days,
high
school days, some practice film on him at Vanderbilt. I saw film on him at FAMU spring game. He's a natural passer now.
Yeah.
And he sees the field. He sees the field. What he has, now everybody down there is trying to tell me that this McKay kid has improved, but McKay is not a natural. This kid is a natural. And the main thing is, this kid right here, on a two-step drop, he can launch 50 and 60 yards. He can let it go. And he can see the field. And when his timing is good, he's really good. He's really good. It's up to Willie Simmons what he going to do. You know, I heard him on a show say that he has the possibility of playing 2, possibly 3 quarterbacks.
See, I don't agree with that. Like, no, you know what they say. If you got more than one quarterback, you don't have any.
Yeah, and McKay is going to be number 1. I think McKay is going to be number 1 because he's familiar with the system. He knows what that man wants to do. But as far as a natural passer, it's that Musa kid. It's that Musa kid, man. That boy can see the field. He's a big kid, and he can launch it, baby, with accuracy.
You don't see any other schools that can come out the woodwork that nobody's looking at? Anybody that can surprise?
Alabama State. I've been saying that Alabama State got one issue, and that is that offensive coordinator. Do he know what he's doing? Can he get this kid, Demetrius Davis, prepared for the NFL? Can he produce a big-time offense? That's it. That's the same thing as Southern. I ain't no need to talk about no Eric Dula. Eric Dula offense goes 30 and 40 points every game. It's about that man, Henry Miller. Now, he got everything. I'm telling you, man, Southern is loaded down there on defense. You know, he got everything he needs. But can this man put this thing together? I told you about Grambling. Grambling got everything. The biggest decision at Grambling is, who is Hugh Jackson going to start at quarterback? Now, personally, I think it's that kid from Texas, that was it Chance Amy or Army or whatever his name. That's the boy supposed to start. But you know he's from California. Halle Wayne them came in from UCLA, so you got to see what that's going to be about. You know Alabama A&M, you know what they about. Like I keep telling them that Thursday night game against UAB, if they go half with UAB, the SWAC in trouble. SWAC in trouble, I'm telling you now. Now listen, this stuff about Jackson State running through the conference, Jackson State still got to show me that offensive line coach. Now, from the people I talked to, it's 2 or 3 of them boys that they done brought in. From what I've been told, them kids are pro prospects. 2 of them came from ULM. They said them boys can play. There's another boy came in from Louisiana, Lafayette. They said that kid is tough. But they supposed to went out and got all kind of offensive line because they said Dion said it ain't going to help to us no more because that offensive line with Cedric Dunbar and them got beat to death down there at that Georgia Dome or that Mercedes-Benz Dome and that Celebration Bowl. They got embarrassed.
Yeah. And then at the Southern game, they were struggling at the Southern game.
Yeah.
You know, they pulled it out the end, but they were struggling.
Yeah, I thought the best game offensively was
Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M. I thought that offensive line. But see, to me, I ain't sold on that man that's the offensive line coach at because I done told y'all the guy who I think should play a bigger role with that offensive line is that Coach O. You know what I'm talking about? What's his name? Coach O? Coach Odom.
Coach O. No. Oh, Coach O. You talking about Otis Ridley?
Otis Ridley, yeah. I wouldn't have no problem if he was the offensive line coach. Because at least he would motivate. I don't see no motivating coach. See, you got to motivate the interior people. Yeah. Because, David, that ain't nothing legalized fight. When you in the trenches, and that's where the game is won a lot. I am not, you know, they always say, he was at Arkansas, and that don't impress me. Nope. That don't show me that. Like I said, if I had my way, Coach O would be the offensive line, but that's just me. But I said Celebration Bowl or bust for JSU. We'll see. Because I keep telling y'all now, the SWAC better. Yeah. The SWAC better than it was last year. SWAC better than what it was last year. It's different people in the SWAC now, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Because I done told y'all now, right now, Jackson State got them a 5-star. Let me tell you something. FAM gonna get one. Southern gonna get one. Grambling gonna get one. I want a 5. Alabama A&M gonna get one. I want a 5. That boy that came
Yeah.
Demetrius Davis, boy, that boy is a 5-star. I'm telling y'all now.
Don't Jackson State got another 5-star? A kid that was a 5-star coming out of high school that transferred, the kid from Texas Southern, Texas, well, Texas A&M. Oh, okay.
Yeah, his name is Coleman or something. He's a wide receiver.
It's a kid from Texas A&M that came to Jackson State.
Oh yeah,
that was a 5-star.
Yeah. Doyle's supposed to be a defensive end or a stand-up linebacker or something. Yeah, that boy. Yeah, he gonna be tough.
Yeah.
He gonna be tough. See, the whole SWAC is. This is what this thing gonna come down to. All these teams are loaded with talent.
Right.
But whoever's got the best coaching staff, the best AD, and the best president, that's who's gonna win the SWAC. And right now, when you look at Coach Pride, Ashley Robinson, and President Hustle, that's a good 3 right there.
Yeah.
They on the same page. They pulling together. You know, y'all keep talking about Andrew Body and them. See, let me tell you something. I don't know nothing about this president. I know it's a lady. I don't know nothing about her. Okay, I think McKinney gonna be all right. All right, now my thing is Kevin Granger, he the AD down there at Texas Southern. Now I know he all basketball, but as a AD over football, can he help bring a championship to Texas Southern? Because see, here's my thing with Texas Southern. They underdeveloping all the way around. Okay,
yeah.
You got all that money. You in the city of Houston. I've said this 100 times. You in the city of Houston. You can't produce a SWAC winning championship. You ain't had a championship team at Texas Southern since Johnny Cole. How many years ago was that? What's going on in Texas Southern? Then my other thing, like I tell people all the time. Now, we say that Harvard University is the most comprehensive black university in America because they have a law school and a medical school. My question is, why Texas Southern ain't got a medical school? Texas Southern should have a medical school. Not just Texas Southern. Southern University should have a medical school. Jackson State should have a medical school and a law school. FAMU attempted to get a medical school under what's that president's name? They colluded to keep him from getting it. He just died. You FAMU people, what's your great president was named that died? What's his name?
Coach Dion.
What they put in the chat? Frederick Humphreys. Frederick Humphreys wanted a law school and he wanted a medical school. He got the law school, but what the man at the time was the Governor Bush. He went and got this Negro by the name of Louis Sullivan. Louis Sullivan was the Surgeon General during the Bush administration. I think during maybe the dad's administration or the son's. I can't remember which one it was. But he testified that if they gave FAMU a medical school, it would hurt Mohouse's medical school, which was a lie. So I'm saying he came that close, got the paperwork, appealed to the government. We need these schools, because let me tell you something. It's 4 million black folks in Texas. Okay? They got money. I don't understand why Texas Southern ain't got no medical school.
Yeah.
Somebody from Texas Southern, y'all need to tell me why Texas Southern don't have a medical school. You got a
They should.
You got a pharmacy school. Why you don't have a medical school?
Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. So I want to go back to what you were saying about Andrew Body. You don't believe that he can propel that team to a good team in the SWAC? I mean, I know they defense struggled last year.
Yeah, that's
but
I don't know. Every time I saw the defense coordinator to me was high schoolish. I love, like I told you before, I love that guy's name is Marsh. He's the offense coordinator. Oh, he uses Andrew in a great way. Oh, I love him. Doug Marsh, I think his name is. Is that right? Yeah. What the offense coordinator's name in Texas? Isn't it Doug Marsh?
I haven't really looked into Texas Southern coach staff like that.
Hey, Texas Southern folk, what's your offense coordinator name? You on there? I think his name is Doug Marsh. He's a young white guy. He's good though. He's good. Like I said, that dude that's running that defense, he run this like a high school, like he a high school coach. See, you got we can't do that. We can't do that. You got to do just like Dion did. Texas Southern, go get you a Dennis Thurman. Go get you somebody with NFL experience and hire him as your defense coordinator. That's what you do. And then guess what? Andrew Biden and that crew will be a threat to win the SWAC. But they don't have what these people keep talking about. Texas Southern don't have infrastructure. You got the money, you got the potential, but you don't have infrastructure. You don't have human capital.
All right, y'all. I just posted a number in the chat. Let's try to get that one to try. Let's see if that's gonna work for us tonight. Someone called that number. I just set up a another way to see if we can take calls tonight on the show. Okay. So I'm gonna see if that's gonna work for us. The real question is, how much better has every team gotten?
Oh, a lot of them have gotten really good.
Right.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. I'm waiting to see what Bethune-Cookman's going to look like because they was kind of pitiful last year. I'm waiting to see because I still say that Bethune-Cookman's going to have to make a coaching change. That guy's done all he can do. He's going to have to go. Sims is going to have to go.
I don't think they're going to get rid of him, though.
Well, the only reason they wouldn't get rid of them, they have had some serious financial problems down there at Bethune-Cookman. But it's going to depend on the alumni and what they want and what they're willing to put up with. Because every year that this since his first year.
All right, Miss Ford, let me try this real quick. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
okay, hold on. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what up, man? I was just testing out the number for you, man. It actually works.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So this could be a little workaround for us then.
Hey, ain't that my man from Charlotte? Is that my man from Charlotte?
How you doing, Mr. Ford? How you doing?
Now let me ask you something. Don't you think Jackson State should have a medical school?
Hey, you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. You know, Saginaw Community College in Michigan, they were paying homage to our founder, H.P. Jacobs, during Black History Month, and they did some digging, and they found that, you know, he, one of his missions was to make sure the Natchez Seminary had both a medical school and a law school.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
I think what messed everything up was, you know, the Black Baptists in Mississippi, they kind of relinquished their control over Natchez Seminary to the American Home Baptist Commission out of New York. And, you know, of course, they held us back. But, yeah, man, Jackson State, FAMU, all these schools.
Southern should have one.
Southern,
so should North Carolina A&T. They should have a medical school. FAMU should have medical, and where they got law school. FAMU got law school. See, because if you give FAMU medical school, that puts them in direct competition with Harvard University as the most comprehensive Black university in America. FAMU should have a medical school.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what was sad, man. South Carolina State, they had a law school, you know, during segregation. But then, of course, after integration, the state of South Carolina closed it. And their reasoning was because I believe USC had a law school and there was no need to have two public law schools. But you didn't see that same dynamic in North Carolina, you know, with North Carolina Central and UNC Chapel Hill. But, you know, there's a guy in the chat that said that organization didn't hold us back. They gave us money. You know, if you really do some digging, you know, that organization definitely held us back. There was a time, you know, once we got our first Black president from Morehouse in the early 1900s, he brought in a lot of athletics and the Greek life to Jackson State. That organization didn't like it. And, you know, we began to ask for new programs like chemistry and architect and things of that regard, but they turned us down. They basically wrote Jackson State a letter and said, you know, the Negro race does not need those type of programs. You're only good for to
manual labor
teachers. Yeah, you know, basically to produce teachers and ministers. And subsequently, they pulled the funding from Jackson College, and the community of Jackson, of West Jackson, rallied around Jackson College, and the professors. They decided they decided to work without pay just to save the school. And then that's when the state of Mississippi stepped in and made JSU a public institution. So, yeah, I definitely believe that if the Black Baptists from our inception, as well as many other HBCUs, supported the schools, as opposed to a lot of the white philanthropists, because that's the thing, you know, much respect to the white philanthropists that gave us a monetary start, but at the end of the day, we were still under their thumb when it came to the type of programs we could offer. So that's why you see a lot of private HBCUs that didn't really have to worry about that, like a Morehouse or Howard. You know, they were able to really, you know, move within the ebb and flow of what they can offer. But a lot of the public HBCUs, you know, if you weren't land grant, you were pretty much limited to being teachers college, you know?
But now, you know, we'd have to go back and do the research. At one time, Fisk had a medical school and Shaw University had a medical school. And they were nationally noted even during segregation. I know that Shaw had, now I got to check on Fisk, but I think Fisk had a medical school.
Yeah, let's get the likes up. Hold on, y'all. So let's get the likes up, everyone. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed yet. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We definitely need y'all to hit the like button to get the stream out to more people and to grow the platform. Appreciate y'all tuning in. All right, I want to pivot back to football, y'all. So hold on just a second. Let me fix this. So caller, what team do you think will have a chance to take the crown away from Jackson State?
I can't really say, you know, as far as taking the crown, but I will say a team that everybody is sleeping on that will give Jackson State a run for our money is Mississippi Valley. You know, what Mississippi Valley was able to do last year with the caliber of players, and they didn't have that bad players. But Valley has definitely loaded up very quietly, and the type of coaching in the trenches that Valley does. I mean, I didn't see Valley get ran over by anybody last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. They gave everyone a run for that, even FAMU.
Yeah, so, they gave FAMU. I watched the game.
Yeah, and I think FAM, you know, I think they won towards the final couple of
days. Yeah, they did.
I watched. Yeah,
they did.
But the fact that Valley has definitely beefed up, and they got a couple of guys that transferred out of Jackson State to Valley.
Yeah, they did.
I think a lot
defensive
of
backs, I think, were they defensive backs?
Yes, sir.
So
I just think Valley is going to be that team in the SWAC East that a lot of folks need to watch out for.
So what do y'all think Valley is missing?
Well, they got it now. What they were missing was depth.
Okay.
Yeah, they were missing depth. They got it now.
I think, of course, across the entire SWAC, offensive line is key. And I think if Valley can, you know, really beef up on the offensive line and strength and conditioning, man, I'm not going to say they're going to make a run for the SWAC, but I will say they're going to be they're going to shock some folks in the SWAC East this year. Absolutely.
Cool.
It's just that SWAC East is just so tough, man. That's just like that darn gone western part of the SEC. That's SWAC East is tough, man.
Mr. Ford, are you going to any games this year?
Yeah, the ones I can get to. Now, you know, I like night games. You know, there's a bunch of people here going, you know, we only 120 miles from Montgomery. Everybody up here wants to go down to Jackson State is coming to Montgomery for Alabama State's homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest they coming to Atlanta. So that's where, I mean, it's a busload of folk here. It's going down to that game. Hopefully I can make that one. That's on the 8th, I believe. It's Alabama State's homecoming. And like I said, I can go down there and come back. I don't even have to stay overnight. Because that's, you know, it's real close. That's Interstate 85. Yeah. That's not even 2 hours.
Do y'all?
I'm like you looking for we, you know, our alumni chapter in Charlotte were looking to get a bus, a couple of buses to take down to Jacksonville. You know, we had a lot of alums that kind of wanted to go to that Cookman game, but they didn't really want to go all the way to Daytona. But
Right.
Yeah, but now that it's in Jacksonville, a lot of
I think that's a win. Now, the only thing, like I just told SWAC Bros, I don't like the 1 o'clock start. You know, we don't, that's not us. We supposed to be under the lights. Now, I don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguars got a game the next day and they got to have it and get out the way, but I was hoping that game was at night.
Yeah, I remember Coach Farm saying he was really a fan of night games, but I will say I do know it's way more expensive to have a night game. You know, when they talk about the lights, you know, you talk about the amount of security. And to be honest, I mean, you know, and SWAC Buzz, you can chime in on this. I feel like for the amount of revenue that Jackson State has pumped into the city of Jackson, I feel like the city should give us the security at least for free or a really discounted rate. But that's the biggest issue with having night games, man. It's just so expensive.
Okay. And listen, you know, congratulations to Jackson State for that new deal they got with American Airlines.
I want to talk. I was about to talk about that too.
That's big time.
Yeah, so if y'all don't know, Jackson State has a deal with American Airlines that's gonna pretty much be they're gonna give deals out to people that's booking flights to certain games, and they're gonna be the charter flight for the team as well. So that's good.
Yeah, that's big time. Y'all probably the only black school got that, right?
So let me drop a little nugget, man. So, you know, President Hudson, he's been doing this alumni camp, this alumni tour across the nation. And one of the things we've been tasked to do, all the chapters, is to develop partnerships with various corporations, you know, in our city and get President Hudson in front of those folks. Right. You know, American Airlines is, they're based out of here in Charlotte. And they were one of the ones that we had on the list. So we're just really glad that partnership came to fruition. And to be honest, you know, it's just a testament to the power of alums. That we can just get out there and flex and, you know, kind of provide that space to begin those talking points, you know, between these companies and our alma maters. It's amazing what we can do. So I encourage everybody that's in the chat, you know, if you're an alum or just a supporter, you know, get out there, talk to your companies, see what we can do to get some internships and partnerships.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Especially the internships. That'll be good for the students. And FAMU definitely should have something like that. I mean,
with that traveling and Southern too.
Yeah.
Because now listen, when it comes to traveling, it's FAM, Southern, Jackson. Nobody travels like those schools. Nobody wherever they go, wherever their team goes, they bring in fans. So all of them should have something like that right there. But kudos to Jackson State for getting that. That's big time.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this. So I've been seeing a lot of players get mentioned for scouting and things like that, being mentioned as being some of the best players in the SWAC. But a lot of people haven't been mentioning Nugget. Have y'all noticed that? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I guess they're going up from last year or something, because, I was upset with Nugget last year because he didn't start every game. After seeing him in the spring, when he initially came to Jackson and played that spring, I thought he was the top cornerback in the SWAC. And then last year, you know, he started some games, then he didn't start, and then I think one time they suspended him. I was kind of upset with him with that because I thought that was childish. I thought it was taken away from his money because the NFL scouts is definitely looking at him.
Yeah.
And so he's one of them guys. He got to prove himself.
Yeah, he got a new NIL deal.
They was doing because I didn't understand that he and Malachi Watman pulled down there at Southern. You know, that little incident. Then the next game they were suspended. I was upset about that. I didn't get that. Yeah. And so I'm just saying he's got to mature. And he got to ball out. Yeah. And if he balls out this year, he gets drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think Nugget, man, he's one of the top prospects off of our roster this year to get drafted. But I agree with everything you just said, man. As long as I'm pretty sure in the offseason he's matured up.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that he has the talent to ball out. He just has to give himself the opportunity, you know. He'll be great.
I want him to ball out and get drafted. And go on and do his thing. Because he can play in the NFL now.
Yeah.
He can play in the NFL.
And he's going to get all the opportunities this year. Yeah. I mean, because you're going to have Travis Hunter on the other side. They're going to go away from him. They ain't going to test him too much. So things might be.
So?
Huh?
You don't think so?
I think if Travis Hunter show out a couple of games, they going to learn their lesson and be like, all right, let's not go to that side.
Let me tell you, when I was coaching, we young kids. Anytime it was a new kid or a reserve or a kid got hurt and came in the game, we went directly at that kid.
But if he,
I'm gonna tell you something, these people in the SWAC ain't gonna back off Travis Hunt.
if he come in picking stuff off, okay, somebody. So you think somebody gonna try to expose him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're gonna go at it.
We'll see.
I agree with Mr. Ford because I remember, if y'all remember that 2019 MEAC SWAC challenge, we played Bethune-Cookman in Atlanta. I want to say it was maybe like our first or second series. Who was that quarterback? We had that transferred to Cookman?
Jalen Jones.
Yeah, I believe it was him that got rocked. You remember that? It was like the
I
first or the second
remember.
series. And
what's the name came in that game the first series and threw a bomb? Quincy Casey?
He did, yeah.
And then he got hit. Remember, he got hit and they didn't, because we were saying, why didn't they bring him back? But they played the white guy from Texas and they played that Jalen Jones guy.
Yeah.
That was Hendrick's first and only year, I think.
I agree with you, man. Anytime you're a player and you're kind of high profile, you're getting a lot of media attention, similar to Jalen Jones was, coming out of Florida State to Jackson State. Folks are going to have a target on your back,
Yeah.
But, I think at the end of the day, with the type of offensive line protection we got, with the type of, defensive recruits that we brought in, man, we're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be able to try, but to see how big Travis Hunter has beefed up to in the offseason, man, like the brother has picked up some muscle mass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
On top of that, with his athleticism, y'all saw what he did, in the spring game, but I think this is one of the most talented teams that we've ever had at Jackson State. I'm really interested to see that game in Mobile when we play Alabama A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, I think the hotels in Mobile are already sold out that weekend. The Airbnbs are going up fast as well. So it's going to be a big crowd, good game. I think that might be a night game, Mr. Ford.
I think it is. And it's televised. That thing you always talk about, SWAC, HBCU with Go Pass?
Yeah, HBCU Go.
Yeah, they televise. That's Charlie Neal and them.
Okay. And hopefully, I'm glad to see Alabama and them fans traveling, because a lot of people get on them about not traveling. So
they're not on that league with Jackson, Southern, and Fam. Now, the other thing y'all need to know, that they just wrote an article recently about Mobile. Mobile is one of the fastest growing cities in America.
Mm.
Oh, I know that. I know Huntsville was. I didn't know that about Mobile.
Yeah, Mobile too. Mobile has made that list. People are moving to Mobile, Alabama.
Now, let me ask you, Mr. Ford and SWAC Buzz, like, since you brought it up, with Charlie Neal, can we get like an interview with him, SWAC Buzz?
Oh, that's great.
You mean the guy from the pregame show? Which one is that? Oh, you talking about the other guy? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I try to see if I can work on something like that during the season.
Great.
Yeah.
He's on my Facebook friends list, man. He's really approachable. So if you want to reach out to him, he typically responds pretty fast too.
Okay. Yeah. Send me a message on you on Twitter. Are you following me on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Send me a message on Twitter, and I'll try to connect that.
Okay, appreciate you.
Now listen, this is the other thing I don't know if y'all heard. Bloomberg just did this thing on sports and debt, and boy, it was a bad. Oh, by the way, do y'all know how much the dollar's worth in the Arab world now? Did y'all hear that?
No, we don't.
The dollar is worth 22 cents in the Arab world.
Mm.
Wow. It's worth 22 cents. But this is what they're talking about now. They're saying that if these networks don't save them Power 5 schools, all of them going to burn up in debt. Listen, Cal Berkeley is $440 million in debt. Texas A&M, $300 million in debt. LSU, $200 million in debt. Michigan, $200 million in debt. Alabama, $225 million in debt. Illinois, $260 million in debt. Georgia Tech, over $200 million in debt. So let me just say this again, because y'all, how we love to talk about Jackson State going to the Sun Belt. Now, y'all want this kind of debt? Okay. Okay, now.
I think people have kind of quiet down on the LBS talk. I mean,
I know that's right.
But if I seen Jackson State doing the FBS anything, I would probably like them to try to do independent and see how that goes. I know FAMU did it back in the day, and they were unsuccessful.
That's
but
right, it was a disaster.
But if Jackson State was to do it, I think they have the brand and the cachet to do it, and probably be successful if they got the players that they can get that'll come to a LBS school that's independent, a LBS HBCU school that's independent. So,
and you know what? I'm gonna tell you, man, what it's gonna really take for Jackson State or any HBCU to really do this, we got to develop a different model when it comes to financing. I do see how, of course, a lot of these PWIs, they have those booster clubs that are in those various spaces, and they have those alumni that are in various spaces, and they bring them to the table. And it's not just the affluent alumni; it's across the board when it comes to income. And we just got to bring all these alums to the table to get that buy-in to effectively finance that type of.
Well, you know what? Because listen, I read once it said that Jackson State had 46,000 living alone. Now, if you got 46,000 living alone, you can't get $100 from each one of these. How much is that, Smack Bro? How much? If you get $100 from 46,000 people, how much money is that? Because I wasn't no good man.
It's like 46 million, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How come every loan you got? Because they said
4.6 million.
I think got 70,000 living alone. Hey, somebody from FAMU, is that true? One of them, I think it was either FAMU or something. One of them got 70,000 living alone.
It's 4.6 million. My bad. 4.6 million.
4.6 million?
Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of that, Mr. Ford. So I really love the fact that when you talk about schools like Jackson, Southern, FAMU, you know, they have these legendary fan bases. But a lot of people don't know that a lot of those folks who love those schools and who support and travel, they never even attended a class at those schools. And, you know, you see the same type of dynamic with a lot of these SEC programs and PWIs. A lot of their fan base, they're not alumni. You know, they're just locals who, you know, love the tradition. You know, so we have to be able to not be so, I guess, singular when it comes to financing and just focusing on alumni. We got to tap into that fan base support because you never know who's watching. You never know who's coming to your games. They could have a lot of different resources outside of monetary resources, you know, to help that type of move. But hey, I'm for it. Whatever we got to do, I think we should have all hands on deck and to, you know, bring any type of option or idea to the table. I'm for it, man.
But, and to piggyback off what you said, one of the things we have told the people at Morris Brown is this. Kanye West's mother taught English at Morris Brown. Why y'all ain't asking Kanye West for some money? His mama taught English at Morris Brown.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what he did. So he came, you know, Kanye was doing that whole gospel thing for a while.
Yeah.
And the pastor of Newburgh, Jamal Bryant, invited him down. This was like maybe last year, the year before last.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Kanye donated, he gave some type of donation to Newburgh. It was really big. And of course, Jamal Bryant, he turned around and gave that to Morris Brown. In dedication of his mom. But yeah, I totally agree, man. You know, to find out that some of these superstars like Kanye and others have direct links to these HBCUs, like a lot of people recently found out that Russell Wilson's grandfather was the winningest basketball coach at Jackson State.
In Jackson State, and he was the president at Norfolk State for years. Russell Wilson's granddaddy is first cousin with Big John Merritt, who was a legendary coach at Jackson State and Tennessee State. They all from Kentucky. I think they all went to Kentucky State.
Yeah, they went to Kentucky State.
Yeah,
we played on a legendary coach named Henry Arthur King.
Yeah, y'all right. I don't understand why these celebrities aren't pumping money into these HBCUs. Y'all go buy these fancy watches, these expensive cars that's depreciating in value. Well, not a watch doesn't depreciate really, but these cars are depreciating in value. You can get that money to a HBCU, and that money will go a lot further, and it'll actually mean something.
And that's LeBron gave FAMU a big contract.
Yeah, that's.
I saw that he gave them a monster contract.
So you want to know what it is, like Buzz? I think a part of the problem, we just don't even ask.
Yeah.
You know, I work on the corporate side here in Charlotte, and one of the VPs for our mortgage division did a lecture, and he's basically, in a nutshell, he talked about these folks who have all their business at the company, but they ended up getting a mortgage outside of our bank. And he asked them like all the same question, why did you do that? And they said, well, they asked me. And it's just that simple. Right. And we can just get out here and ask these celebrities and not just celebrities, you know, but there are other billionaires and millionaires that have that capacity to do so. We just gotta ask, man. Like the brother that came to Morehouse and everybody student on that.
Yes, he did.
That was just from he had no affiliation with Morehouse.
No, he went to Cornell.
Yeah, you know, but just the fact that he was asked to come, that's all it really took. You know, sometimes you just got to ask folks to come and be a commencement speaker.
Was his name Robert Smith? What was his name?
Robert Smith. Yep.
Robert Smith. That's right. I know he went to Cornell and he's Alpha. He's A5A.
I wanted to go back to what Stephen Campbell said. Stephen Campbell says, hold on just a second. He says, because the celebrities don't have any ties to HBCUs and their white managers control their money.
Well, there's some truth to that now. But we got to appeal. We still got to appeal to him. But there's a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of that last statement you read. There is truth to that.
I'm sorry. What did he say?
No, he was saying that that the celebrities don't really control their money like that. So with the HBCU go, I'm hoping that the interface and everything looks good because that could be pretty big for HBCUs. And I love what
they got some good games. I know they have some good. I saw the schedule. They got some good games.
Yeah. And I trust Byron Allen because, you know, he has experience with, you know, garnering TV stations and stuff like that. So I trust him. He seemed like he a good man for the job because that's something that HBCUs need. We need to be able to take advantage of TV and streaming.
Well, I can tell you this, right, bro. You're gonna love Charlie Neal. I've been listening to Charlie Neal since the early '80s. Maybe before that, he used to do CIAA tournament. He would do SWAC. Him and Lim Barney would do SWAC football. They always was at Jackson. And you talking about first class? That Charlie Neal is first class.
And he's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he is. And he's awesome. Yeah, but see, he actually years ago it used to be Charlie Neal and Jay Walker, and now he didn't let Jay do all that foolish stuff he's doing now with Tiffany. He wouldn't allow that. Yeah. He wouldn't have it because that's I'm trying to tell y'all. Some of that stuff is buffoonery. It's minstrel. Right. And I don't like it.
Hey y'all, hold on. Let me say this real quick. Hey y'all, let's hit the like button. You know, we got almost 300 people in here, and we only got 148 likes. So let's hit the like button because you know that's the way that you grow the platform. You get the stream out to more people when you hit the like button. So we definitely need that. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Thank you. Now, what you were saying, Mr.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
So let me ask y'all, like, what are some other ways that we can increase, actually in game, like during a football game or basketball game? What are some ways we can increase, alumni support or fan support financially for the program? Like, should we put something on the Jumbotron, like a big QR code? Have folks pull out their cell phone and, donate directly to, because I feel like there's just a lot of opportunities on the table that we could possibly be missing in game. And, of course, we all know attendance is directly tied to prospective, folks who want to market and advertise at your game. But I think the biggest sellers in our game are the fans.
Yeah, and I go back to what you just said about putting that thing up on the Jumbotron. Now, you know about the guy David Plouffe, right? David Plouffe was a guy who worked for Obama. And they said he had Obama's campaign on everybody's cell phone. Remember David? Y'all heard about David Plouffe?
Yeah.
And that's what we got to do. We got to study David Plouffe so that everybody knows through the cell phone. Everybody knows when our games are, when we're trying to raise money. Everybody should know about. We got to go back and study this guy, David Plouffe.
And I think he may have been instrumental in really outsourcing the Clinton campaign. You know, we all.
Yeah, I think he was. I know he was. He was one of the main people for Obama.
Yeah. And
he kind of like changed the game as far as contacting everybody. He was contacting everybody through their cell phone.
DJ 85 says HBCU goals sound like a scam. Now, why would you think that? Like, why does our stuff got to be a scam? Come on, man. Like, no, man. He's really trying. He's really trying to do something for HBCUs. HBCUs have the potential to make a lot of money. That's why he's trying to tap into that, because he know these other networks, they're not trying to make money off HBCUs like they could be, because they got all these Power 5 schools to that they're they're glamored with. But he sees something in HBCUs. He sees it as a big money making opportunity, so he's going for it. And I'm okay with that as long as the product looks good and it's nice. I'm cool with that.
Listen, I went into Walmart today, and they already got Bryce Young's jersey. Why Shedeur Sanders' jersey ain't in there? Why Nuggets' jersey ain't in Walmart? Why isn't that boy Travis? You think these people over here don't know about Travis Hunter? They know about Travis Hunter. Why his jersey ain't over here at Walmart?
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling y'all the SWAC is missing out on millions, possibly billions, in paraphernalia, in uniforms, in them cups. Over here they like to buy the cups with the, like the cups that had JSU on it. We should have that all over Atlanta.
Yeah, for the life of me, I don't understand why the SWAC hasn't taken advantage of selling jerseys and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Boyd. So to your point, I was in the Sam's Club here in Charlotte, and they're selling Jackson State lawn chairs and Jackson State tents. I was like, what? Yeah, it's getting out there, but sometimes it's kind of a slow moving process. But I totally agree, man. I think the merchandise.
Yeah, the merchandise. We should be doing a bit better than that. And Grambling should have their stuff out. Southern should have their stuff out. Alabama State and Alabama, FAMU should have their stuff all over the country.
Yeah. And I know Fanatics.com, I don't know if the schools have to ask them to partner with them to make the jerseys, because I know their website, that's one of the biggest websites when it comes to buying jerseys and stuff like that. And you can see all the Power 5 schools on there, but you don't see the Group of 5 schools and FCS schools on there. So I wonder, they have products on the site, but they don't have jerseys. So I wonder, is it a reason why the jerseys aren't being sold or made?
Well, we got to work on that.
Yeah. Do y'all think it's because most of our HBCUs have a contract with that? What's that bookstore called? E-Follett? Do you think that's like the slow moving part?
I don't think that's it. Like,
no, I don't either.
I don't know.
I think that should be handled by the commissioner. The commissioner should be signing deals where all of the SWAC merchandise is sold all over the country, especially these cities. You should have SWAC merchandise in LA, SWAC merchandise in Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia, Charlotte. Wherever you go into the Walmart, you should see nothing but SWAC stuff. That's got to be done by Dr. McClellan and his staff. They got to get on that. They what they're doing. They're leaving money on the table.
A lot of money.
Yeah, they're leaving millions. Like they were saying the other day. Now you heard the latest. Now, if China invades Taiwan, I mean that's gonna mess up everything. But guess who they said is gonna really suffer if China moves against Taiwan? The NBA. The NBA in that Pacific Rim area, they almost make billions, but I think it's almost up to the trillions. Because that NBA, especially that LeBron James stuff, it sells big in China. You go and look it up. It sells big. All of his merchandise, all of his tennis shoes, anything with LeBron sells in China.
Yeah. Because I have so many people that message me and write in the comments, man, how can I get a Jackson State jersey? Man, how can I get a Grambling jersey? How can I get a SWAC jersey? Like, it's people outside of the SWAC and HBCUs, they want to buy our jerseys. So we definitely got to get on it.
people in there, y'all got to email Dr. McClellan them. Ain't nobody criticizing. We saying make this a reality. We need all of them SWAC jerseys on all of them teams in all these major cities. We say we know it should be in Walmart, but wherever you can get it. If you can get it in Target, listen, we need, and by the way, I hope y'all email Dr. McClellan and told him we can't have that bad officiating like we had last year. We can't have it this year now. It was embarrassing. It was incompetence out there as far as officiating concerned on national television. We can't have that this year. So I'm saying it again. I hope y'all done emailed him and told him we can't have that this year now. We can't do it this year.
I just want to jump in real quick, just to piggyback onto that. Everybody, man, definitely email your athletic directors and your university presidents as well. Let them know, the city that you reside in, whether it's Atlanta or Charlotte, the DMV, wherever, you guys have a large alumni base in your city.
Yes.
And if they have SWAC apparel in the city, the alumni and the fans will definitely come out and support and purchase that apparel. So I think that's a starting strategy that we can begin with, and then kind of grow from there.
Now listen, you tell me if I'm wrong. The last report I read, the area that had the highest number of HBCU graduates was DMV, and then Atlanta was number 2. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think it's DMV, Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta, DMV, and then you got like Dallas. Dallas is
because I know it's a lot of people in Dallas.
Yeah, Houston and LA as well. So I think those in Chicago. So those markets right there would be great. New York has a lot of East Coast HBCU alumni. So if we can get our alums in those spaces, just as a launching pad, reach out to your athletic directors, your university presidents. When they come to town, let that be one of the main, talking points when, as far as, moving the university forward. Hey, let them know we got a lot of alumni here with definitely support.
All right, y'all. So we're at 183 likes. Let's try to get to 200 tonight, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Like I said, it's really important that y'all hit the like button. Somebody said it must be haters in here because they're not hitting the like button. I hope y'all not wasting y'all time watching the show and you got hate in your heart. Go and hit the like button. We need that. We need to grow our platforms. We trying to get on the road to 10K subscribers. So yeah, man, hit the like button so we can grow the platform. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Now, let me tell you, I was thinking about this, and I had asked, who did I ask? I asked Kofi. Kofi's a FAMU graduate. Now, I think next year, Jackson State goes to Tallahassee to play FAMU, right? And I was asking him, next year, y'all go to Tallahassee, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so, yeah. Because they're not going to have the OBC again.
How about y'all playing at Doak Campbell at the home of Florida State? And he told me no way. But to me, with Dion coming to Tallahassee, that's got to be 50,000, 60,000 people. If you have it at Bragg, you can pack 33 without the fire marshal, cutting it off. But we still talking about 20,000, 25,000 people outside the stadium. That's why I thought, y'all tell me how y'all feel. I thought that game should go to Doak Campbell.
So if I'm talking about FAMU folks that I know there's not that great of a relationship between the two institutions.
Okay.
That's why I think it wouldn't work. But I do feel like what would be more advantageous from a travel standpoint for both schools' budgets, if maybe we can rotate in Mobile every other year.
What about Atlanta?
Well, I mean, with Atlanta, it's going to be more expensive because, the only suitable stadium for that would be Mercedes-Benz.
You don't think we could use Georgia Tech or the Braves Field, Truist Park, or Georgia State? Georgia State holds, I know, 27, I think. Yeah, Georgia Tech is 55. Okay, and then Mercedes-Benz is 72.
Yeah, when we played Bethune-Cookman in 2019 at Georgia State.
That was a sellout. That was a sellout, right?
Yeah, Jackson took up 75% of that stadium. So
I don't think they'll be
able to hold FAMU in Jackson.
So somebody tell me, what's the story behind FSU and FAMU having bad blood against each other?
It's just a thing, man. So Jackson State, we've been blessed to be the only public university within 120 miles northeast, south, and west of capital city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you got a school like anytime you have a city where there's a public HBCU and a public PWI, there's going to be some beef. Yeah, like you can look at Southern and LSU, you can look at STEM and Florida State, and there's some other ones as well. You know, it's a thing that really stems back to segregation. It stems back to even during integration when it comes to the funding aspect. You know, they choose to fund. Even here in North Carolina, when you look at A&T versus UNCG, you know, the state has been pumping in more money to UNC Greensboro than A&T. And A&T has been around much longer. They have a bigger brand and a higher level of productivity than UNCG. So it's that divide. But they've got bad blood, man.
Now listen, now, when I was a teenager, my 9th grade year, we were taking down Tennessee State. Anytime Tennessee State would come during the 70s to Tallahassee, they would take them to Doak Campbell. In 74, they went to Doak Campbell. 76, they went to Doak Campbell. 78, they went to Doak Campbell. And, because, see, back then, Bragg was going through this thing where they didn't know whether to tear it down, condemn it, or repair it. And eventually what they did was they did refurbish it, you know, because when I remember at one time, Bragg Stadium, I think, was at 10,000 attendance, and then it went up to like 27, I think, because they reopened Bragg in 83, I think it was. But for years now, Bragg, when Tennessee State, this is when Tennessee State was Tennessee State, not that shell of itself up there now. But they would come down to Tallahassee. FAMU would always take them to Doak Campbell. That's what 74, 76, 78. They would always go to Doak Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but kind of getting back to, you know, from a financial piece, you know, instead of having Jackson and FAMU having to travel to each other every year, because it's, what is that, like a 10-hour drive, 11-hour drive? I think a midway point like Mobile would be sufficient, because I know FAMU played Tuskegee in Mobile a couple years ago.
Yes, they did, and got scanned by a Division II school. They told me they kept the president of a meeting to 3 o'clock that morning. Matter of fact, Tuskegee beat FAM the first year, and then Jackson State came in there and got beat by Tuskegee too.
Yeah, I want to rehash that. I'm glad we switched coaches, man.
Yeah, that was the Tony. His name was Tony what? He's up at Mississippi State now. What's his name? Tony what?
See, we don't even forget. We forgot his name.
He was before John Hendricks. Matter of fact, he brought John Hendricks to Jacksonville.
Let me ask y'all this. So I've been seeing a lot of online chatter from North Carolina A&T calling themselves the America's HBCU and the standard for HBCU. Do y'all agree with that? Can they make that claim?
They just talking. At one time they were.
I'm gonna say this because I live in North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. I will say A&T, they have a certain, outside of athletics, they have a great model. You know, the president, I think he's the longest serving so far.
Martin, isn't his name Martin?
Yeah, President Martin. I think he's been there since 2008. Yeah. You know, the state of North Carolina really adequately for, I guess, if you could say that, they do a much better job of funding A&T than some of the other states when it comes to their public HBCUs. They've got, you know, great facilities. You know, they're doing a lot of fundraising. I think their alumni raised like $178 billion during their 5-year span. They got a lot of stuff going well for the institution. Of course, their bread and butter is STEM, specifically engineering. They just, I think with A&T, they were riding a wave for about 4 or 5 years under Broadway. With a lot of media attention and hype and whatnot. But when Jackson State and Coach Palm got together and collaborated, it was kind of like they just got thrown by the wayside.
That's right.
And they feel a certain way. And it really is not just the Jackson State Coach Palm thing. It's also the fact that they switched conferences.
Yes.
Pissed off a lot of their alumni base. You know, and I mean, I've talked to a lot of young and old alumni. And don't let these A&T people fool you that's in the chat or that call in. Man, most of their base, they absolutely hate this move. They're trying to save face, but, you know, from attendance and whatnot and just overall interest, man, their fans are not feeling that. So I think it was like a double whammy as to why they feel so jaded. But, man, honestly, you know, it's so funny. There was a guy from A&T, he played football. He was on Twitter, and he made a post saying, you know, everything that Jackson State is experiencing is what A&T should be. And honestly, he's right.
So you think so it's a lot of jealousy, basically. Like,
well, they've been deposed. They listen. They were taken off the pedestal, and Jackson State was put on the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what happened. And really, they did it to themselves. They did it to themselves. They made a bad decision.
They did.
They made a bad decision.
One thing that Coach Farm has done that I love is, like, you know, in the SWAC, we've always had the culture, in my opinion, when it comes to HBCU culture and the fan base and the tailgate and all that. But I think when Coach Farm came, it just really shone a light on our culture, and it exposed us to a lot of folks, especially on the East Coast, that may have heard of us, but they really didn't see us for real. And from talking to A&T people and, you know, other MEAC alums up here, man, they're like, yo, y'all got it going on, man. When it comes to fan base, I had an A&T alum say, man, on our best day at A&T, as far as us winning, we could never get a crowd half of what y'all got at Jackson State or, you know, to see in Birmingham for the Magic City Classic or Bayou. And they love the culture. So
let me correct something I said real quick. My bad. I didn't mean to say that OBC wasn't happening next year. I meant to say Jackson State and FAMU is not going to be playing at OBC next year. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different matchup. Go ahead, y'all.
Listen, the way we said about Jackson State and Coach Flag, it was a marriage made in heaven.
Yep.
We said it was a marriage made in heaven.
And you know, I think, you know, it is jealousy from what I do see, not just from A&T people, but other, you know, folks. And to be quite honest, man, you know, I think I talked to you about this before on another platform before, but you'd be surprised at the level of that people have in the HBCU circles that's very historic when it comes to hierarchy among HBCUs, right? So, you know, it kind of stems back 100 years when you had, you know, the top tier schools were like those liberal arts schools like Shaw, Virginia Union, Hampton, Howard, and then you had those Langland schools, and then you had like a third tier, kind of like po-po schools, like teachers' colleges or preacher schools. And when you look at, for 100 years, for the most part, those first two-tier HBCUs, those liberal arts and those land-grant schools, they dominated academics and athletics, etc. But there was only 3 HBCUs that didn't fit that mold that were able to buck the trend. And that was Winston-Salem State when they had, what's the name of that coach? Big House Games.
Big House Games, yeah.
You know, and then you had, of course, Jackson State. We clearly weren't, you know, a liberal arts or a, you know, land grant, but we were able to really flex with our athletics and our marching band. And you had Grambling. Those are the 3 HBCUs that were able to buck that 3-tier trend and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And I say that to say, when you talk about some of these East Coast HBCU alums, there's a lot of jealousy sometimes. They feel like it's almost like you don't deserve to have this fan base. You don't deserve to have that level of athletic or academic success or that level of marching band prowess. So, and they'll tell you that, like, you know, they're very arrogant. I went to an HBCU cookout here in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, and there was a couple of guys from South Carolina State just boldly approaching me, wanting to have a conversation about Jackson State and just letting loose their vitriol. And you could tell a lot of it was based off of jealousy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I think that's where it's coming from, A&T, though.
But now let me just say this: the attention that Jackson State is receiving now. See, when I was in high school during the 70s, it was Grambling. I can remember Grambling was the first black school that I saw on TV. I saw Grambling and Morgan State in 1970 at Yankee Stadium. We saw it on ABC. It was called Wide World of Sports was the name of the show. And then, I don't know if people remember this, Eddie Robinson had a national show. It was sponsored, I want to say, by Oldsmobile or GM. We would see it every Sunday morning, and they would go and play Prairie View, and they would go play schools like University of Hawaii, and his quarterback was a guy we thought his name was Matthew Reed. He had Sammy White, Matthew Reed, Gary Johnson. He had a bunch of stars on there, and when Matthew Reed left, guess who came on the scene? Doug Williams. And I'm telling you, all throughout the 70s, the same attention that Jackson is getting now, it was the Grambling State Tigers. And it was all about Eddie Robinson. And I remember they were talking about Doug. He was a sophomore, just like they talking about Shadua now. And I'll never forget, he took Doug Williams to Tokyo, Japan twice. He took him first to play Morgan State. He took him my senior year in high school. He took him over there to play Temple. And they won both of them games.
And I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Ford, I've had to tell so many folks that, you know, I'm even though I'm under 40, I'm very privy to HBCU history.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, Coach Eddie Robinson, man, he was a larger-than-life superstar, and a lot of folks in my generation, you know, they're familiar with Coach Rob, but they don't know the impact that he had on Black America. What Black America meant to him. You know what I'm saying?
He's an icon.
Black America. He was an icon, you know, and Black America really loved Coach Eddie Robinson. They therefore loved Grambling. Yeah. And I think we haven't seen that level of a love from Black America or America in general until now with Coach Palmer.
Listen, I can remember I met a scout from the Oakland Raiders. He told me that the reason ABC canceled that Eddie Robinson show, that Grambling show they had in the early 70s, was because Notre Dame and some of them other powerhouse programs were complaining because Eddie Robinson show was the #1 show in America, and they didn't like it. And that's why they pushed ABC to cancel it. It used to come on Sunday morning. You can go back and look it up. It was called it was either the Grambling Highlight Show or the Eddie Robinson Show. But it would come on every Sunday morning after that game. And he told me, he said the main one that pushed to have that show canceled was Notre Dame.
Well, y'all don't worry about those MEAC schools talking crazy to y'all. I think the MEAC, I could kind of understand their frustration because they're like, we've been dominating y'all. We've been winning. We've been winning the SWAC challenge, the SWAC MEAC challenge. We've been winning the Celebration Bowl, and y'all getting all this attention. Y'all the talk of the town. So I can understand their frustration, but hey, what can you do about it? You know.
But here's the thing about the MEAC frustration: it's their fault.
Yep.
Anytime you let a Dr. Dennis Thomas do nothing, what I call it, do nothing, and then you let him be corrupt for almost 20 years, and then you wonder why you're about to be blown into oblivion. You let your commissioner he had no ideas. They didn't do nothing new. They wouldn't play no night games. Every game was a day game. Okay? And then you wondering why. Then when you get rid of him, when he finally resigned, you get another do-nothing, somebody he trained to do the job. You can't tell me that you don't have a better leadership or person to be in that commissioner spot than that lady, Miss Sandra Steele. Yo, listen, you're going to get what you deserve.
I'm going to tell you, Mr. Ford, I got to push back a little bit on that because from what I remember, when Dennis Thomas came in, I don't think he was majority of the problem. I think the real problem with the MEAC started in the early 80s. And I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody's school. I'm just being honest. I think the initial issue started when they brought in the Florida schools. Because you got to remember, the MEAC was comprised mainly of CIAA schools.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was CIAA school. And it was 1970. It was primarily for the football playing schools in the CIAA.
Yeah, and then, of course, they brought in South Carolina State. So you're looking at a bunch of mid-Atlantic schools that essentially have the same culture, and they're around geographically, they're close. And then you bring in these two schools from Florida in the early 80s. I think that really threw a lot of stuff off.
You got a point there, The travel was too much. It was too much. But now here's the thing. Now the only school in the MEAC at one time, and for the majority of the time, FAM was in there, who had a traveling fan base was FAMU. Because I tell people all the time, listen, go back to them first 2 or 3 celebration Monetization Bowl, Alcorn always had more people at the Georgia Dome than North Carolina A&T. Those people in the MEAC didn't travel. If go back and look at it, it was 3 times Alcorn met up with North Carolina A&T. 3 times Alcorn had more people in that dome than North Carolina A&T. And we're talking about a school that's got about 4,000 and a school that had 13,000.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you another layer of the issue. Another layer of that MEAC issue, man, was there were egos among the presidents.
There you go. There you go. And
that's a problem with a lot of our institutions, honestly.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That guy at Dr. Humphreys couldn't stand Dr. Harvey. Dr. Harvey finagled his way into putting Dennis Thomas in as commissioner, because you got to remember, Dennis Thomas was AD at Hampton. He was the AD at Hampton. And so, like you said, it was a power structure. It was a power struggle. And he fixed it so that Dennis Thomas would be the commissioner and he could control the conference. That's why him and the president of FAMU went back and forth. They were battling.
And then once you throw in the egos of the president at Howard at the time, and then the chancellor of A&T at the time, it's just a big, a big mess.
Yeah, and the conference was too long. You're talking about it went all the way from Dover, Delaware, all the way to Daytona Beach, Florida. That was too much.
Do y'all think the CAA or the CAA is gonna snatch Norfolk and Howard? I see somebody said that in the chat.
I'm gonna tell you.
Something's gonna happen. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I told folks a year ago when they started smashing schools and people started mentioning Howard. Howard, y'all, they are too black to move to the CAA. If y'all know Howard's culture and their alumni and just their overall structure, they just too black. They not going.
Huh?
I know that.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that.
I promise you, man. But trust me when
I live in this area. I live in this area, and let me tell you, some white folks going to Howard now. Like,
no.
Yeah. But he's talking about the culture.
You talking about the culture?
I'm just being pro-black. And being pro-black business. Yeah, and they're one of the founding members of the MEAC, and I know A&T was, but they're different from A&T. And
I still say that one of the things I want Dr. McClellan to do is to go ahead on and come up with a plan to snatch up those schools once the MEAC drowns itself, because that's what they're going to do. Because they see this whole thing of doing nothing and being corrupt and all that. Listen, the day it's over. It's over. And so I would like, right now we got 12 schools in the SWAC. I'd like to see us add 4 more. Because I still say, SWAC Bush, you and I done talked about this. I still say we go to that pod system where you start off with one rival that you would play twice. You done talked about this. I want Grambling and Southern to play twice. I want Jackson State and Alcorn to play twice. I want 1 game at Jackson State, 1 game at Alcorn. Okay? If we get 16 teams in the SWAC, we can do it. So I'm saying to Dr. McClellan and them, these people getting ready to drown. Go up there and get those schools.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you want to save them as the MEAC, but under your umbrella, you can do it that way, or you can bring in that pod system we've been talking about. But see, listen, with the way this thing getting ready to tank, and I know a lot of people don't understand it because, they still saying everything is good. Baby, this thing getting ready to tank. With these wars and all this coming, because, listen, one of the things they're saying now, people don't even know this. They say that if China invades Taiwan, kiss new cars goodbye. And what we'd have to do is if you want a new car, you go and put down for the new car, guess when you get it? 2 years later. At the least,
so,
2 years.
Let me touch on this. Like, so Edward Moore said he's totally right. Howard isn't going to a white conference, but they was flirting with the idea to go there. They asked to join the CAA, so they wanted to go. What do you say?
Well, they have to save face because remember, Raymond Fredericks, he's the leader of the President's Conference of the MEAC. He's one of the main ones who were pushing Dr. Dennis Thomas, so they had to save face. Because if they had pulled out, baby, the MEAC would be like the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
A bang of the past.
And so let me tell you.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think that once it leaked out that Howard was looking to move conferences, the amount of backlash they got from their alumni, you gotta understand, man. Howard alumni are just different. They're very powerful. They're one of the top contributors in the institution financially. Once they got that backlash, I feel like that's when the school backed up and said, okay, we're gonna stay with the MEAC. Overall, as a Howard University community, they are very pro-Black, and the alumni and the fan base, they're not like A&T.
So when you say pro-Black, I'm trying to understand, because I've been to Howard homecoming, I've been to Jack State homecoming, I've been to SWAC schools homecomings. In my opinion, Howard is more what you call mainstream, kind of like, like it's more, it's kind of bougie a little bit. Like I hated their homecoming. I didn't not like their homecoming at all. It did not feel like a HBCU homecoming I'm used to it feeling like. When I go to Jackson State homecoming, it's more of the family kickback atmosphere. Up here in this area, it's all about the, who got this, who wearing this, the celebrities here and that, and all this other kind of stuff.
Let me say this. Okay, you got to understand now. Even though Washington, D.C. is in the South, the culture and the tradition is from the Northeast.
Yeah. When
you're talking about Jackson, you're talking about the Deep South. That's two different regions. Like I say, a lot of people in D.C. will get mad with you when you say that they're in the South. Because I've had people that even want to fight me when I say, what are you talking about? Washington, D.C. is in the South. Okay, there's a difference. They have more of a northern culture in D.C., whereas in Jackson, Mississippi represents the Deep South.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, there's a big difference.
And if y'all think I'm lying, just go to a Howard homecoming and see how it is. You're going to be like...
I'm going to tell y'all, it's even like that here in North Carolina as well, man. Like, for me being from North Carolina and then going to Jackson State for school, I can tell it's a huge difference. Like geographically, North Carolina is in the South, but the culture, because we've had so many folks who moved down here
from up north,
from Philly and Jersey, New York, Boston. Their culture at NCCU or A&T or Fayetteville State, it's very much like a Howard. It's very Black bourgeoisie, very mainstream. It's capital, and you're only gonna find that Deep South kind of down home, like you said. Like, I'm gonna say, I had a buddy who marched at Tennessee State. He crabbed old school like me, and I asked him, like, at the time, because they played in Southern Heritage Classic and the Atlanta Football Classic. I was like, which one of those games did y'all really like? And he was like, the one in Memphis, because the one in Atlanta, it was just very commercial, very structured. The one in Memphis, down home, you could feel the soul and the atmosphere, and I think that's why so many folks, when they from the East Coast, when they see how we do stuff in the SWAC with the Labor Day Classic and etc., State Fair Classic, they see like, man, I wish my HBCU was like that. Because when they go to homecoming, like you said, SWAC Buzz, it's very much like labels, what you wearing and who you work for, what you driving.
Yeah.
Right. You're giving out cards and people wearing mink coats and it's 90 degrees and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But that's a northern mentality.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a northern culture. That's northern tradition.
Yeah. That's how it is in DC, in the DC area. Like, as soon as you meet someone, the first thing they're asking you is what you do, so they can size you up and see how they're gonna treat you after you tell them what you do.
The first time I went to Washington DC, one of the things that tripped me out, because I'm deep south, like you say, South Georgia, was that they had these row houses where they just had like a little front porch, no backyard, and if one house burned, the whole block burned. I was like, what is that? I'm from deep South Georgia, where land is plenty.
Yeah.
Everybody got a front yard. Everybody got a backyard. So I had to understand the tradition. But one thing I did realize when I was in D.C. was the number of HBCU graduates. And many of them, the majority of them, had good government jobs, but they were from all of the HBCUs.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I realized quickly up there was that I met people from Alcorn, Jackson, Southern, Florida A&M, and all of them had them big-time government jobs. Listen, guys, I gotta go. I gotta turn it in. I got school tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show in a minute.
Have a good night here.
I appreciate the comments for it.
Okay, thank you. Have a great night.
All right, Carl, you can go ahead and finish your last point.
Oh, no, my last point, I just want to say, man, you know, the schools in the SWAC in the Deep South, we do get students from up north, but it's more so like Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we get guys from Ohio, Chicago, Detroit, Gary, but they're still really connected to the Deep South roots, more so than folks who live in Jersey and Philly and New York that go down, you know, to the East Coast black schools. So I think that's the parallel. That's the biggest difference. But great show tonight, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
All right, man.
All right. All right. So yeah, I'm hold on, give me a second. Yeah, man, I've been to Howard homecoming. It's nothing like a SWAC homecoming. Let me just tell you, it ain't all this cracked up to be. I know they, you know, because when you hear about Howard homecoming, you hear about all the celebrities. It's just the most lit homecoming and stuff like that. And man, I went to that homecoming. I was like, "This what y'all been talking about? Is this where all the hype came from?" Now, what I will say about Howard that I do like, I don't know if y'all know anything about Greek fraternities. I love their probates, their fraternity and sorority probates. I like the way they're structured and the way they do it on campus. And it has a real old school HBCU feel to it. So I do like that about their campus. But their homecoming, no, it wasn't all that. It's class because you're a country boy. But yeah, I love their probates, but their homecoming, it wasn't all that to me. But the women at Howard are stunning. Now you got that right. That's true. That's true, Stephen. I will agree with you there. There's nothing like a JSU homecoming. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try to do another show probably tomorrow or Tuesday, and I have the phone system working better so we can take calls and things like that. I did like a little Google Voice number for y'all to call in tonight, but I don't know if I'm on the phone with someone, is it gonna let the calls come through? So I'm just gonna fix the stream system that I have now and just make sure that's right for the next show. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. They're definitely top 5 when it comes to women. Okay, y'all funny. The probates began at Howard. Yeah, that's true. You know, there's most of the alpha chapters are at Howard. Hey man, we got to keep the next show about the SWAC. I mean, we're talking about HBCUs though. You know, I wanted to be able to talk about, you know, most HBCUs, not just SWAC HBCUs. You know, sometimes this stuff is relevant for us to talk about. So I don't mind talking about, you know, HBCUs out the SWAC. But I try to keep the show strictly for the SWAC. But, you know, sometimes we might deviate and talk about some MEAC schools as well. I appreciate y'all tuning in, though. Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I'm gone.